Welcome to Samadhi Game. This is a sort of a Valentine program today. Robbie and I will be giving some mantras from the Samadhi Game Manifesto of Enlightenment. And one of the things that I want to just go back here for a second and see here. I thought I shared it here. I guess I didn't. But I did share it on your page. Every morning, every time I begin a broadcast, I actually share the idea of the broadcast on the pages. And look, it's not there.
On mine.
Where?
Wait, that's not mine.
Oh, it's not. Okay. Yes. It is there. I thought I shared it on my page too, but I didn't see it. Well, at any rate, I do share a little indication that we are online, and so that we can all begin to see that it's happening. We do broadcast on Thursday evenings at 10 o'clock and Saturday mornings at now 9 o'clock. So it's a little bit different. We're doing a little bit later so that people on the West Coast can join in a little bit easier. And people on the East Coast, you're almost midday. So it should be fairly easy. But I named today's broadcast The Delicate Presentation of the Rose of Love. And I just wanted to just muse for a few moments about what that means. We just passed through the day dedicated to the beautiful expression of love. Most people have thought of that as romantic love, and that's beautiful. It's gorgeous, and we can take that as a starting place. But we really need to understand that if we're yogis and yoginis, if we're on the path of enlightenment, there's another step of that love, and that's the love with that inner self, that love with that God presence that abides within us all. It's the same sort of process that one goes through in order to establish, love with the other. You also do the same thing for the divine self within in a conscious way. So we can have this externalization of love as with another person. And we can also have that love in the same way developed with the inner self, the inner God presence. And that means we have to take time and say, I love you, and listen to them say,
I love you back.
I love you back. Because, in that saying and listening, we begin to refine this process, this delicacy of the walk of love. Because it's really so delicate of a thing. It's so refined of a thing to have a love affair with another, and just think how much more refined it would be to have a love affair with this presence, this abiding presence within you, and how important it is to keep that process, that development going, rather than just letting it stagnate and giving it and losing its vitality, but giving it energy and care and time. So Valentine's Day is a day that everyone says, we're going to give time today to the other person. We may have gone all year long without any care for the other, but today I'm going to make sure that my loved one knows that that I love her. I'm going to buy her flowers. I'm going to take her to dinner. Yeah, if I can get a table at the restaurant. We decided last night that we were going to forego the outer walk and trying to get out into the city and getting a place to eat and
silly
and all this. I had to go out. I went out yesterday afternoon to go swimming and swimming. And swimming. And as I was driving by the off-ramp that people get off on to go to the malls here in Albuquerque, we have 3 malls right next to each other. And as I was driving by there, the traffic jam off of that that off-ramp was about a mile long. Just like it was on the day before Christmas when people were still struggling to get their last presents and shopping done. And I have a feeling everyone was going there to go into those malls to have dinner, to have drinks, to enjoy the evening out with their loved one. And I'm sure it was fun, but it was such a crowd that we decided we would just stay home and
We had fun.
and we did. We enjoyed each other, enjoyed the fire, we took a walk in the middle of the night.
Oh, and the halo around Venus, it happens every February. It's caused by ice crystals during the snow moon.
Oh, well, I would have to say that those, it's hard for me to believe.
Oh, I looked it up.
I know you looked it up, and I believe what you say is true, but it's hard for me to believe it because last night at midnight we took a walk and it was probably close to 50 degrees at midnight here at 6,600 feet in the Sandia Mountains in New Mexico. It was amazingly warm, and it must be an inversion layer or something, up there. And then beyond that, there's
Oh,
ice
that's snow on the
crystals,
East Coast.
Yeah, maybe it's coming from that's true because over
It is
to the
on the
east
east.
there was ice crystals
Yes.
around the Venus, and over to the west where the moon was setting.
Yeah.
It
It was just chemtrails to keep us from keep the warmth.
That's right. In the middle of the night, we went out and took a walk, and we saw this. It was actually really beautiful, even though we knew it was chemtrails.
Yeah.
The chemtrails were being sprayed in the middle of the night, which is
Odd.
sort of an odd thing. We haven't seen that. I haven't seen that before. Of course, we don't get up that often in the
No.
middle of the night.
Only when you can't sleep. You
Well,
woke
full
up
moon.
every 3 hours.
Well, full moon, full moon, and I don't know what else, but it just seemed like but I didn't mind. I enjoyed sleeping, even though the dreaming was very vibrant last night.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the idea. Let's get back to the idea of this love, this processing the love, and reaching out in a concerted way to maintain that love, creating that love. You don't really create the love, but you create the connection with the love that comes forth from another person, and you can feel when you're in love and when you're not in love. And what we'd like to do is assess on a regular basis throughout the day whether we are in love or out of love. And we can assess that with our other, or we can also assess it with the deeper self within us. So within us is that samadhi self, that samadhi presence, that I amness that allows us to feel it. We can feel it. I can feel it. You can feel it. And we know when we have a connection with it and a harmony with it, and we know when we're not. We also know when we're feeling anxiety, fear. I noted a few things here that I was reading this morning. Anxiety, emotional turmoil, any form of anger. You can, in what it says here, you can most assuredly know that you are not in the right vibration. And so by assessing those vibrations and trying to say, no, those are not the vibrations that I would like to live in, I'm going to connect with love instead. And going inside and making that connection and holding to that connection, bar none. Setting aside all pettiness that might come between you and your loved one, whether that be another or between you and the oneness of who you really are. So this is a yogi's and a yogini's path, this path of enlightenment that we practice with Samadhi Game. So here, let me take us to the actual process of Samadhi Game. I'd like to take us all the way through to this third section of the book. I'll find it and then I'll put it on the screen for you. You can also download Samadhi Game at samadhigame.com. This is chapter 3 of Samadhi Game. And here it is behind us. Developing your alchemical momentum. And I have a picture there of Shiva, which is really indicative of your higher self. That's who that is. That's who that God is. God Shiva is you. And behind you sits this radiation of what they call the Sri Yantra, this ascending, descending triangles. This is the Tantra of enlightenment. This is the descent of light and the ascent of light. This is putting yourself in a position where you can receive the light that's coming down, and it's a resonant position. You'll notice that the upward triangles are similar to the downward triangles. So if you can begin to match that light that's descending, if you can just come close to it, ye shall know me because you shall be like me, said Jesus. You shall know this Christ, the descent of the light, because ye shall be like it. And so as we sit and put ourselves in resonance with that higher self, we know it more completely, and we are in that state, the Christ, and we are in that state in love, in that pure love. So let's go on and give a few of these mantras from this third section of the book, this section that I have chosen pink as the color of the lettering, the pink of love, this violet color pink, this violet purple pink color. So let's go ahead and give these mantras together and put ourselves into that receptive mode with that divine descent of light that's coming down from our higher presence. Come on with us. Adorable I am, Samadhi that I am, that supreme ruler of the ruby ray power and the unconditional love of the violet flame, that dispassionately dissolves, consumes, transmutes, and reconciles all phases of the wheel of karma in pure enjoyment, in resonant formation with Paramahansa Yogananda, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and Hans Baba, Sir Lafalat, Saint Germain and Portia, Elohim, Arcturus and Victoria, Archangel Zadkiel and Holy Amethyst, Om Re Tas, ruler of the violet planet, the great cosmic light and mighty lords of the flame from Venus, the hierarchs of the elements, earth, air, fire, water, and Akasha, Virgo and Pelor, Aries and Thor, Prince Ramesses and Diana, Neptune and Loara, and Zeus and Tara. I fly towards the secret sky of ruby ray power, violet compassionate transmutation, and cause 100 veils of illusion to fall each moment. As Portia, Saint Germain, Claire de Lys, Lanello, El Moria, Kuthumi, and the Mahachohan, I say, thus far and no further, I release the transfiguring action of ruby ray power and the measureless mercy of the violet flame into the cause, effect, record, and memory of that tempting and tormenting ego, including the fears and the desires of, we have come into a square. We have to just chart out just a quick square so we have the coordinates of something to insert into these.
Well, for Valentine's Day, if you're doing so.
What shall we do? Shall we do
I don't know. Love and anger? No. Love and...
We can do love and hate, or we can do harmony and anxiety.
That's good.
Okay, so we'll do harmony and anxiety. And what would you say is the center of harmony and anxiety?
Presence or understanding?
Understanding, we'll say understanding. And understanding love, as we'll say, because we're into love, this thing. So in these places where we have these blanks, there's a process that we do in the second chapter of Samadhi Game called Enlightenment with Squares Process, or ESP for short. And that ESP process allows us to break apart the dualities that we're working with. Everyone goes through some sort of upheaval. So everyone has something that's up for them. We can have things that are up for for a group of people as a whole, for a nation as a whole, for individuals. You can go on different levels in different areas of life and find something that is causing you to think about it, to wrestle with it maybe. Something that's maybe it might be financial or relationship. In this case, we're choosing harmony, anxiety, which are really parts of a relationship. In harmony, you can be in love. In anxiety, you'll be out of love, or at least you'll be distant. So we're going to choose harmony and anxiety with with a neutral witness, which brings together both the harmony and the anxiety, and actually makes of these two poles something magnificent, because now we can use both sides of the pole as an artistic rendition. If you just look, even if you look just in thinking about it, and you look at Van Gogh's work, much of his work, even his strokes, looked like there was a lot of anxiety in there.
Yeah, well, he couldn't see.
Yeah.
So he just painted everything blurry. He had to be this close to canvas.
Wow. Yeah, well. Okay, so let's go on and continue. I release the transfiguring action of ruby ray power and the measureless mercy of the violet flame into the cause, effect, record, and memory of that tempting and tormenting ego, including the fears and the desires of harmony and anxiety. It is transmuted and consumed on the instant in love and understanding love. I will it done by the power of love and understanding love. I open and charge the golden pink radiance of divine love in its most powerful dynamic activity into the world and all mankind, and into the world of my mind, feelings, and body, my home, and all my spiritual, sexual, social, recreational, romantic, personal, family, domicile, dietary, health, medical, career, financial, business, and political and legal affairs. All compassionate I am, Samadhi that I am. I am the eternal, complete, unconditional forgiveness and command of all dual human ego created down the corridors of past, present, and future. All transmuting I am, Samadhi that I am. I open through me now that violet consuming flame of divine love and compassion. I identify and surrender my human self-concern in all patterns and habits of duality, appetites for illusion, fears and desires of harmony and anxiety. I dissolve and transmute them all, cause, effect, record, and memory, past, present, and future. I replace them all with the fullness of myself, including understanding love, that state of perfect samadhi, held with full dominion, here, now, and forever. As the all-seeing I am of Samadhi, my very own neutral witness and silent watcher of all mankind. Elohim, Cyclopeia, the great karmic board, and Saint Germain. I search the entire karmic record of all my past lives and its presentation in this life now. I identify, transmute, and transform all latent and or active returning mental, emotional, physical, and astrological debts and patterns deprived of frozen children such as, and we all have these frozen children. We could say, hi Kathleen, good morning to you too. These frozen children are these places in our consciousness where we have become stuck because of a trauma that has occurred to us at some time in our life. It doesn't have to be as a child. We could have been a trauma that occurred to us, 5 minutes ago, or a trauma that occurred to us a month ago, or a year ago, or 5 years ago. These are traumas that cause a sort of a clenching of our consciousness, a contraction around a certain amount of energy that doesn't allow it to flow freely anymore. And because of that contraction, other energy begins to ball around it, and it creates, instead of a nice, smooth, flowing river of life, it creates this bumpiness that keeps bumping and bumping and bumping down the road. It's almost like you have a flat tire. So what we can do with the frozen child process is written and outlined here. And I'll just briefly explain this because it's really an important process. We can take a look at it. We can say, and you can actually tie it to something that's up for you. We brought up the square of harmony and anxiety. Well, there is a certain anxiety that comes from entering into something new. So when you enter into a new relationship, when you enter into a new way of approaching that relationship, it is anxiety promoting. And so we create a bundle of energy that doesn't want to go. It wants to maintain the status quo of itself. And so we can begin to talk to that, and we can say, we can actually, as the neutral witness, talk to that part of ourselves and say, what is it about you that's not wanting to continue in this? Tell me about what's happening with you. You can talk to it like a child. You're the adult, and this is the child. And you start talking to the child, and you say, what is it that's going on? What are you experiencing? Well, I'm feeling very frightened about not knowing exactly how the relationship's going to go. I'm not really certain. I've never been in a relationship like this before, and I don't feel good about it. I'm scared. Well, don't worry. It's going to be fine. You're in the hand of God. Everything's going to be all right. You can assure this child, this part of yourself, that it's going to be an exciting venture. Don't you see how much light and brightness there can be in that relationship? And you start affirming to this child in the relationship, which is within you, this bump, this anxiety, this little knot, this frozen essence that doesn't want to move out of itself. Can you just wake up a little bit? And maybe if here, let me take your hand, and see if we can, if I can show you how wonderful it would be if you could just take a step forward here and let go of your fear of this new way of expressing. Well, what does this new way look like to you? Well, it doesn't look like, I don't have the coordinates. I don't see any abuse in this relationship, and I don't know why it is that I can't just enter into it without wanting that abuse. And so you have to follow that dialogue, and you say, okay, now listen, there is no abuse there because this relationship is really full in love, and by following this relationship, you're going to have such a beautiful life. You're going to be able to express yourself in ways that you never thought you would before. Anyway, that's an idea. All for Frozen Child. So you're talking to yourself.
And don't do it in the grocery store.
It's really a great process. It really is. You're using the spoken word. Your time. I have in parentheses there. You see behind us it says time travel. And the rest of this dialogue here you see on the page behind us is pointers on how to use this. Excuse me. I just have to get my breath. It's pointers on how to use this Frozen Child process in a more exact way. But I really do, suggest that you talk to yourself.
Peas or corn tonight? Butter or olive oil? Well, what do you want? Well, don't feel guilty, but I would really like to have butter today. Is that the same thing as talking?
Should we go to Costco today or not? Well, I think we're going to be nice to go to Costco and get some butter.
Why? You don't even need a relationship.
Are you afraid?
God forbid you start fighting with yourself.
No, I don't want to go. No, you have to go. Now, come on. Now, come with me.
God.
So yeah, but we have to realize, and what it is, it's a practice where we have to we begin to realize who is in charge, really. And it's the neutral witness that's in charge. It's not this dual human ego that's in charge. It's the neutral witness. And
it is actually, because you kind of want to stay in bed before the alarm, and then the alarm goes off, you push the snooze, and you're like, I got to get out of bed. Do I really want to get out of bed? Yes, I have to get out of bed. There. So go into that space to do Frozen Child?
Well, Frozen Child it involves a little bit more of a assumptive technique where you assume that you are the neutral witness, and you begin speaking as the neutral witness, this Christ being, this Krishna being, this higher self to the child that's been hurt. And that's it's a little bit different than
but
the funny things we've been doing.
how does someone get the neutral witness in a godlike thing if they've never experienced love?
That's right. Well, this is the rub. Everyone has to lift themselves up by their own bootstraps, Really, it takes, everyone saying what is love and finding love and being confident in love and holding love. And that's all tantamount and equal to the neutral witness, really. Really, the neutral witness is love. Christ is love. God is love. And the more time we spend in that and refuse the temptation to harden the heart, to resist and to drop back into the status quo. I'm doing that with your brother. Oh, he totally traumatized me as a child, and now, yeah, that does happen in siblings. But the tendency is to drop back into that traumatized, that frozen child, and not move forward. And we have to find a way to overcome that tendency, because as long as that tendency is there, we're working with karma. We have to find a way, no matter how hard it seems, to actually open up and return to love. What I love about Robbie is sometimes when I lose myself, and we all do, right? I mean, even though I'm teaching this course in Samadhi game, we all lose ourselves. And sometimes she'll say to me, "Come back to love. Come back to love." It's a very wise thing. It's a very wise statement, and I really appreciate your saying that. And I try to and find a way. Trying to find a way back to love is the rub. We have to find a way back to love, and sometimes it's a circuitous route. We've got to go this way and then that way, and we have to give in. We have to bargain a little bit with the ego, and we have to bargain a little bit with God and say, well, I'll give you this much, and if you give me that much, and you get a little bit of a bargain going there rather than just embracing love fully, because there's all sorts of karmas involved that we have to deal with. And it's not just a straight line path. It takes an amazingly strong God presence identity in order to go straight line. And most of us don't have that. We live lives that are enmeshed with karmic tendencies. So we have to, be aware of those. Let's go on and give some more of this mantra. That's the neutral witness. That's the frozen child process. Using the neutral witness. Let's continue the Ruby Ray power and violet compassionate transmutation. Come back to love. Come on. I am the full understanding and complete self-mastery over the causes and cores of these so-named conditions, these frozen children, these polarities of the dual human ego, as well as all seeming yet to be named. There's a lot of seemingly debilitating things in our consciousness that will be named at some point, because it's only 10,000. The dual human ego is only 10,000. In other words, it's limited. It's limited. It could be 10,000. Even 10,000 sounds like a big number, but it's not. It's limited in its ability to bind you, to hold you. The dual human ego has limits. It has a ceiling. The neutral witness, the Christ self, the Samadhi self, the presence I am, unlimited, infinite, ineffable love. And we don't trust that. We've put our faith in 10,000 things as human beings, and we have to transfer back from that faith from the 10,000 to the infinite one. The infinite one. By the law of forgiveness and grace that I am, I see clearly into the shells of the dual human ego consciousness and its resulting situations. I am Ruby Ray power and violet compassionate transmutation, blazing to the cause, effect, record, and memory of these snakeskins.
Here and now.
Reconciling limitations born from fear and desire, and ascending into the perfection of my unique I am presence, samadhi, and sexual essence. As the omniscient yoga of oneness that I am, I reach into the storehouse of my causal body with my great and loving arms of light, drawing forth 10 times more substance of life than was misqualified. Of that life substance I fashion a unique healing form of the sacred fire, a perfectly suited antidote for each shadowy shape, process, and condition. I send it forth this instant to balance tenfold every debt to every part of life. I give thanks and I accept it done this hour in full power. As the omnipotent purpose that I am, I dissolve, consume, transmute, and reconcile all karmic momentums of my past, present, and future, all distorted shapes of duality, doubts, fears, desires, and seeming forces of opposition within my own world and cross-currents of the human ego throughout the earth. It's a big mouthful. I now cast all shadowy shapes created of the dual human ego, cause, effect, record, and memory, into the boiling sea and consuming fire of forgiveness, reconciling, replacing, and depolarizing, healing, and making art of the frequencies of the dual human ego, with the eternal, perfect, and ascended shape and feeling tone of the healthy, playful, and creative I Am Samadhi. I flash ruby ray power and violet lightning of divine love through all my spiritual, sexual, social, recreational, romantic, personal, family, domicile, dietary, health, medical, career, financial, business, political, and legal affairs. As the omnipresent void of eternity that I am, I capture the brains, bodies, and consciousness of every individual associated with these affairs, including Kathleen online and all of those who are going to watch this archived version. If you're watching this as an archived version, you're with us now. And all of the Samadhi Game tribe, producing that purity, purpose, perfection, protection, and pointed direction. I illumine them all by that truth, dharma, and authenticity, and keep that light forever self-sustained in the eternal glory and victory of that love, by the power, the activity, and the authority, the omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence that I am. I speak to my untransmuted karma, and to every discordant or limiting condition, judgment, deprived, defrozen child that would seek to repolarize and imbalance my dual human ego, including the fears and the desires of harmony and anxiety. Dissolve, consume, transmute, and reconcile by the ruby ray and the radiant violet light of understanding love. Dissolve, consume, transmute, and reconcile by the ruby ray and the radiant violet light of understanding love. Dissolve, consume, transmute, and reconcile by the ruby ray and the radiant violet light of understanding love. I see you in process and perfect now. And when we say that, you can actually conceive of the vision that you see as already perfected. The process of getting there and the vision. How would it take? What would it take? And even if you don't know the answer, just pretend that you do. And then the perfect vision of how it would come out, at least what you think it would be. My world is filled to overflowing with the balance, perfection, and presence of I Am Samadhi. I strip from you, O thou noble appearance of duality, all power to limit, harm, or disturb me, to judge, confuse, or intimidate me, past, present, and future. I walk henceforth as the quenchless fire of the shining void, and I know nothing. I do not know, and hence I am free. I am now and forever free. At the end of this mantra, we claim our unknowing. We claim that unknown as part of our inherent nature, and that sort of reduces some of the fear of moving into the unknown, because we're all moving into the unknown. Every second, every next step we take, unknown. What's gonna happen in the next instant? Are we going to step in a pothole? Are we going to ascend into the light? Are we going to get hit by a car?
Yikes.
Or a train? You just never know. So we affirm. I wanted to also mention, as I'm just page through here, some of these affirmations that we see here. We're developing a language with Samadhi Game. We're developing a language that becomes conscious to our outer minds. I took up the study with the Pimsleur method. Mm-hmm. I saw it advertised on Facebook one day, and I said, you know what? I'm going for it. And I took the Pimsleur approach to Spanish, and I received all of their tapes, and every day I listened to another half hour of Pimsleur. And I don't just absorb. I just don't all of a sudden wake up one morning and say, oh, I know Spanish today.
Yeah. Unless you were, what was his name?
Yeah, Edgar Cayce.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of the name yesterday.
Okay, because
You remember I was talking about the sleeping prophet?
Yeah. I didn't know he was the sleeping prophet.
Edgar Cayce. Yeah, the sleeping prophet. Anyway, but you don't wake up one morning unless you're really gifted and say, I know how to speak Spanish. It takes a remembrance. It takes a process of learning the language in a concerted, spending some time with it, spending time in the country. And the more time you spend in the country of Spain or in Mexico or in any of the South American countries where they speak Spanish, the faster you will learn Spanish. It becomes more of a natural process. The same thing happens with enlightenment. Do you want the language of enlightenment as part of your world? Do you want to accelerate your entry into the world into the heaven world? And this is basically what we're doing. By saying these mantras, by developing this language, we're accelerating our consciousness just like they do for the Super Bowl, just like they do for the Olympics. They advertise it and talk about it, and every time they talk about it and say something about it, we become more interested in it. And finally, we're tuning into it on a nightly basis and watching the skiers come down the hill, even though we may not even be interested in a certain type of sport. It's that kind of power that the spoken word, the visualization has. It's why media is so powerful. The vision that is presented in the media has such power. We have no idea. It creates, as we see, so it becomes. That's why what we really have to begin to consider culturing the visions that we take in on movies and media that we watch, because those visions have a lot to do with the outpicturing of events in our lives. Let's go on. So I just wanted to mention this about Samadhi game and how you look through this. I wanted to also bring up fundamentalist reaction. How can you argue with dissolving, consuming, and transmuting and reconcile with the invited light of negativity? How can you argue with your affirming that your world is filled overflowing with the brilliance, perfection, and presence of God, which is another word for I am, Samadhi? How can you argue with that? How can you say somehow that is outside the realm of the divine?
The Bible itself has, 4 words for God?
Yeah.
Elohim, Lord of Lords, Prince of Peace, Counselor.
Yeah. So many words.
Yahweh.
And in the East, in the Hindu side of things, there's so many names of God they don't even bother numbering. Some people say there's 108 names of God. But there's so many names. The names of God are infinite. Because God is infinite. And His presence is infinite. And His manifestations are infinite. And you are a name of God. And you are a name of God. And I am a name of God. I am the Ascended Master, Gregory Donald Binkley, living super yogi brilliance. An embodiment. An embodiment. An embodiment. And these mantras become a cadence in your mind. And when you just a little, something will come along and it'll remind you of a saying. And then you'll say, yes, an embodiment, an embodiment, an embodiment. You'll say it 3 times with the cadence and you'll have that memory come forth. Let's give this violet ray identity and samadhi and action. Let's really identify now with that love that is the core of our relationship with our oneness, which is the core of our relationship with the other. Let's go on with it.
Read this violet print. Let's go.
I am the violet compassionate flame, radiant, buoyant, whirling, dancing, surging, cosmic, luminous, enhancing, tangible pressure, joyous blushing, from beneath my feet to my crown, now rushing, circling 36 feet about me, transmuting, reconciling all duality,
dissolving imperfections in
my activity, distilling the liquid love and compassion from the heart of the great central sun, simmering from head to toe in the twinkling night of the violet transmuting reconciliation, baking in the roaring fiery furnace of this violet consuming transfiguration, and melting in the unconditional love of samadhi. I am burning with the violet fire, the ruby ray, and the crystal fire mist, refining every element of my subconscious, conscious, and superconscious awareness, cleansing all toxins and impurities from the cells of my physical body, purifying my bloodstream, strengthening and invigorating my nerves, muscles, and bones, tissues, organs, and glands, and clearing and illuminating my mental, emotional, and memory bodies to be the perfect expression of the compassionate I am Samadhi. Where? In action, in action, in action. And that's the Tantra. As a quivering pillar of violet flame Samadhi, I am violet hued miracles of crystal pink love, manifesting as tactfulness, sensitivity, subtlety, delicacy, politeness, discretion, thoughtfulness, carefulness, prudence, cleverness, skillfulness, and diplomacy. And those are all qualities that we need in our relationships. Politeness. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very well, fine.
You look
thank
beautiful today.
So do you. Would you like a spot of tea?
Yes, it would be lovely. Thank you very much.
Okay.
You make very good tea.
Well, thank you very much.
And you keep a very nice home. I love your home.
Oh, well, thank you very much. We sound like Chip and Dale.
And diplomacy.
Diplomacy.
Diplomacy. Would you consider taking a trip this afternoon to the gymnasium and taking a few laps with me? I think it would be very good for our health.
Let me get back to you on that.
And discretion. Now, something that I'd like to share with you is that we really should keep between ourselves.
Okay.
Is that I love you dearly.
Oh, well, are you sure the missus won't object to that?
And subtlety. Dear, I think, how do I say this, but...
You think I should take a shower?
Yes, I think a shower might be in order for you. Maybe a comb. And sensitivity. Sensitivity would be...
Here's a tissue. Stop, don't cry. I won't say it again.
And continuing on.
Yes.
As such, I transmute every dense human egoic shape, pattern, and concept. And boy, they are dense. Dense patterns, dense things. Things that just don't want to budge. These are those frozen children. These are those dual human ego processes that are so heavy that they don't allow us to escape in the radiance of love. How do we even think that we can enter into romantic love when we are consumed and weighed down with the density of embodiments of structured fear? That's really what our karmas are, structured fear. So let's transmute them all. I am the golden sun disk, issuing bolts of ruby ray lightning and violet ray samadhi. Radiant, buoyant, whirling, dancing, surging, cosmic, luminous, enhancing, tangible, pressure, joyous, blushing, across the face of the earth, now rushing. Again, radiant, buoyant, whirling, dancing, surging, cosmic, luminous, enhancing, tangible, pressure, joyous, blushing, across the face of the earth, now rushing. Radiant, buoyant, whirling, dancing, surging, cosmic, luminous, enhancing, tangible, pressure, joyous, blushing, across the face of the earth, now rushing.
And dancing.
Spear points. Spear points of the mighty Maxen flame. 28 feet long, 144,000 strong, 144,000. We got to get our mouths working.
No, I got to get my eyes working.
144,000 strong, radiating in the I am name.
Raising each and every so-called force of opposition
to the victory of my abundantly flowing prosperity, wealth, and finances, dynamic tantric relationships, radiant glowing health and resilient body, my fun-focused service to life, artful sexuality, passionate spirituality, and my glorious divine plan fulfilled. Now, doesn't that sound good? It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's, and so we say these things. If you think of something else, write it in. dissolving, consuming, transmuting, and reconciling everything undesirable and imperfect throughout my world of activity. The ruby ray lightning is flashing as 10,000 suns, and I am gleaming in the brilliant precision, elegant perfection, and magical transmogrification from within my heart. Mighty Arcturus, O Elohim, descend with that light of 10,000 suns and transmute all human selfishness, and transmute all human fear and desire of harmony and anxiety on the earth now. The violet light is always understanding love. The violet light is always understanding love. The violet light is always understanding love. And the I Am Samadhi is that light. The limitless legions of light now burn with cosmic heat throughout all the world, and all dual human egoic shapes and textures, including the fears and the desires of harmony and anxiety, melts away before this intimate, infinite love and understanding love of Samadhi. It's really just, let's go ahead and sit for a few moments in this, and before we go on with a few more mantras.
Okay.
Just sitting and in the silence. We're going to sit in silence. It's really not silence when you sit and you feel the inside world spinning and whirling, and where your neutral witness is, where you can see all of that spinning and whirling from. And as you step backwards into thatness, that I amness, more and more back, we become more and more situated. So let's practice that, watching. Let's go on with some Bada Fire rhythm. Just before we do that, I just wanted to mention a key of meditation here. A lot of times, when you take meditation classes, it's a process. The classes are a process of stilling the mind, using your will to bring stillness, and you can. That can be done. But what I like to do is watch that movement of the mind and see that you are the presence that is in charge of all that movement. And by sending back, if you don't still the mind from the presence of the neutral witness, then it's not a true stilling. It's just the ego trying to take dominance over another part of the ego. And so you have to really find that pure well of love, that pure silent being, that shining void, they call it in Buddhism. that watches all things, sees all things. And from there, you can see everything that's taking place within your consciousness. And you know that you're in command. Thank you, Kathleen, for noting that Robbie is beaming his 10,000 suns. It's so much better to be beaming his 10,000 suns than to be being 10,000 things. We talked about the 10,000 things earlier. The 10,000 suns is sort of a minute, it's sort of a way of grasping how great is the light of eternity. Let's just say it's 10,000 suns bright. Can you conceive of that? How bright that is? Shines. Let's do the violet fire rhythm.
More yellow. Okay.
And when we get to these yellow words are the names of masters that have been helpful, that have been known to have a helpful influence. If you say their name, they can come and grant you boon, grant you assistance in their finer bodies, which is one with your finer body in their essence. I and my Father are one, as much as they are part of their Father and you are part of your Father. I and they are part, 1 plus 1, whatever equals to the Father equals each other. You see.
Mm-hmm.
If I equal the Father and you equal the Father, then we equal each other. Because you and I are the Father. Or the Mother, however you want to look at it. By the rhythm of that rhythm and authority of that magnificent samadhi, I am in me, and the immortal victorious threefold love beaming upon the altar of my heart, that neutral witness, that I am, I place myself in concert with, and here are those names, Alpha and Omega and the great central sun, Helios and Vesta and the sun of our system, the ascended Paramhansa Yogananda, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and Hans Baba, Lanello, Claire de Lys, and Sir Lafelat, Saint Germain and Portia, the Maha Chohan, Omritas, ruler of the violet planet, Archangel Zadkiel and Holy Amethyst, Mighty Elohim, Arcturus and Victoria, Sanat Kumara, Lady Master Venus and the seven holy Kumaras, Quetzalcoatl, Bird, Serpent, Father, Mother, Divine Harmony, Shiva, Krishna, Jesus, and Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, the Lords of Karma, and the hierarchs and beings of the elements, earth, air, fire, water, and akasha, to expand and express the violet fire throughout my entire consciousness, being, and world, including all mankind and elemental life, in this miracle of transmutation, to this triumph and victory, I affirm. And we go on with violet fire, roaring white lion transmutation. Om violet fire, Om violet flame, Om neutral witness, dissolving fear and shame. I am violet light of wisdom, joy, and grace, transmuting all desire. I am plant trace. I am amethyst crystal, roaring hot white line, a chemical purple cauldron, peruses that I am. As the vast blue ocean, a rosy ruby stone, golden rays of sunrise, ignited ego throne. I am diamond silence, gleaming on the violet ray, scintillating prana truth, dharma the way. Om violet fire, Om violet flame, Om neutral witness, dissolving fear and shame. I am violet light of wisdom, joy, and grace, transmuting all desire. I am plant trace. I am amethyst crystal, roaring hell by line, a chemical purple cauldron, peruses that I am. As the vast blue ocean, a rosy ruby stone, golden rays of sunrise, ignited ego throne. I am diamond silence, gleaming on the violet ray, scintillating prana truth, dharma the way. Om violet fire, Om violet flame, Om neutral witness, dissolving fear and shame. I am violet light of wisdom, joy, and grace, transmuted all desire. I am plant trace. I am amethyst crystal, roaring hell by line, a chemical purple cauldron, peruses that I am. as the vast blue ocean, a rosy ruby stone, golden rays of sunrise, ignited vigo throne. I am diamond silence, gleaming on the vital ray, scintillating prana truth, dharma the way. Om body fire, om body flame, om neutral witness, dissolving fear and shame. I am vital light of wisdom, joy, and grace, transmuting no desire, I am planet trace. I am amethyst crystal, rubbing her white iron, a chemical purple cauldron, produces that I am. As the vast blue ocean, a rosy ruby stone, golden rays of sunrise, ignited vigo throne. I am diamond silence, gleaming on the vital ray, scintillating prana truth, dharma the way. Let's keep going. Om body fire, om body flame, om neutral witness, dissolving fear and shame. I am vital light of wisdom, joy, and grace, transmuting no desire, I am planet trace. I am amethyst crystal, rubbing her white iron, a chemical purple cauldron, produces that I am. As the vast blue ocean, a rosy ruby stone, golden rays of sunrise, ignited vigo throne. I am diamond silence, gleaming on the vital ray, scintillating prana truth, dharma the way. Gear up for it and get some physical energy into this. Om body fire, om body flame, om neutral witness, dissolving fear and shame. I am vital light of wisdom, joy, and grace, transmuting no desire, I am planet trace. I am amethyst crystal, roaring hell by line, a chemical purple cauldron, produces that I am. As the vast blue ocean, a rosy ruby stone, golden rays of sunrise, ignited vigo throne. I am diamond silence, gleaming on the vital ray, scintillating prana truth, dharma the way. Om body fire, om body flame, om neutral witness, dissolving fear and shame. I am vital light of wisdom, joy, and grace, transmuting no desire, I am planet trace. I am amethyst crystal, rubbing hell by line, a chemical purple cauldron, produces that I am. As the vast blue ocean, a rosy ruby stone, golden rays of sunrise, ignited vigo throne. I am diamond silence, gleaming on the vital ray, scintillating prana truth, dharma the way. Om body fire, om body flame, om neutral witness, dissolving fear and shame. I am vital light of wisdom, joy, and grace, transmuted no desire, I am planet trace. I am amethyst crystal, rubbing her by line, a chemical purple cauldron, produces that I am. As the vast blue ocean, a rosy ruby stone, golden rays of sunrise, ignited vigo throne. I am diamond silence, gleaming on the vital ray, scintillating prana truth, dharma the way. Om body fire, om body flame, om neutral witness, dissolving fear and shame. I am vital light of wisdom, joy, and grace, transmuted no desire, I am planet trace. I am amethyst crystal, rubbing hell by line, a chemical purple cauldron, produces that I am. As the vast blue ocean, a rosy ruby stone, golden rays of sunrise, ignited vigo throne. I am diamond silence, gleaming on the vital ray, scintillating prana truth, dharma the way. I'd like to do the mantra, I am laughing, laughing, laughing. In the mantras that we have here, let me just take us back to the full screen for a few moments. The mantras in Samadhi Game, each one of them it's kind of like a homeopathic dose of something. In homeopathy, you treat the body with the most minute dose of some frequency that will be the healing unguent for your body. In a similar way, the mantras in Samadhi Game are like homeopathic treatments. If we give ourselves just a little bit of a jump start into laughter, then throughout the rest of the day we may find ourselves laughing even more than we would have if we hadn't jump started it. You could break out in a belly laugh later today because of this. So let's go ahead and give the I am laughing mantra, sort of a silly mantra, but let's give it anyway. And really feel it down to the core. Come on. I am laughing.
Laughing, laughing, laughing.
I am laughing, laughing, laughing. Yes, yavel, yawi. I am laughing, laughing, laughing. Corners of my mouth upturned. I am laughing, 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 now free of karmic return. I am laughing, 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 my cheeks and stomach burn. I am laughing, 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 the joy of life here learned. I am laughing, laughing, laughing. Ho, 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 he. I am laughing, laughing, laughing. Yes, see, ya, vol, ya, we. I am laughing, laughing, laughing. Corners of my mouth upturned. I am laughing, laughing, laughing. Now free of karmic return. I am laughing, laughing, laughing. My cheeks and stomach burn. I am laughing, laughing, laughing. The joy of life here learned. I am laughing, laughing, laughing. Ho, 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 he. I am laughing, laughing, laughing. Yes, see, ya, vol, ya, we. I am laughing, laughing, laughing. Corners of my mouth upturned. I am laughing, laughing, laughing. Now free of karmic return. Ah. I am laughing, laughing, laughing. My cheeks and stomach burn. I am laughing, laughing, laughing. The joy of life here learned. Ho, 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 ho. Hee, 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 hee. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Hee, 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 hee. Do it like you're on stage trying to laugh. You know how those guys on stage go, ho, ho, ho. Ha, ha, ha. Hee, 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 hee. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Hee, 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 hee. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Hee, 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 hee. You can even laugh like a witch.
Like the one we watched The Wizard of Oz. No, it was something like that. I mean, she did it perfect.
She did. I know, it's awful.
Magical Oz.
And we have to do the last line. There was, my mom. We used to have a thing. You know, I mean, people do this. A lot of people do it, where you go up to them and you go ha, and then, ha ha.
Yeah.
And then you go to 3 times.
Ha ha ha.
Ha 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 ha. At a certain point, you can't help it but break out in a little roll of laughter, and it's an important part of life. And it's Dr. Cousins and his laughing cure. Let's just say this mantra here, this completion mantra, this mantra that says, yeah, we take it in, we accept it, done. It is done. It's love, it's wisdom and power in full embrace in my heart. Come on, let's say it.
Fullness
of cosmic joy, we accept this and miracles manifest here and now with unconditional love, wisdom, and power, anchored in the earth, air, fire, water, and akasha, and tangibly manifest in our lives and the lives of all evolutions of light throughout cosmos. And so,
I'm going to get down on the power plate. You have a client?
Yeah, I'm going to go to a client. I also...
You have another client this afternoon?
No, just the one this morning.
No, you have a doctor coming at 1:30.
Who?
Poopy Alice.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
yes,
see?
that's right. That's right.
I'm
that's
your
right.
walking
Yes, thank you.
memory.
Yes, Dr. Poopy Alice will be here at 1:30 to receive a treatment. So I have a lot to do today, but I wanted to thank you all for coming. Thank you all for joining in on Samadhi Game. Please download your copies of Samadhi Game at samadhigame.com. It's free. And try and get to Samadhi Game mantras a little bit once every day. A little bit will develop that familiarity with the concepts, with the ideas. Bring it into the local awareness that you're carrying with you throughout the day, and make you a little bit more predisposed towards that idea of enlightenment, that idea of insight and awareness that you're carrying. This heaven world of God consciousness, or Samadhi I am consciousness, with you now, able to make all the right decisions and the right choices, and being in the right place at the right time. All of that from just a little bit of practice. I can download this PDF on my computer and on my dad's. Yes, you can. You can download the PDF version on your computers, and it's a wonderful version. And you can download the EPUB version on your devices, on your mobile devices. I think the way to do that, just to give you a little bit of instruction on that, if you do want to put it on your iPad, your iPhone, your iPod, all of that, you can download the EPUB version to your computer, drag the EPUB into your iTunes in the books section, and then select it. Once you have your iPhone plugged in, for instance, go to books and then check it to say that I'd like to have this on my iPhone, and it will be put on your iPhone. And you can do it when you're on the mountaintop skiing or on the beach and taking in the sun. You can do these mantras, and these mantras will begin to fill you with an awareness of that language of heaven, the frequencies of heaven made manifest here and now in English. All right, I'm going to leave you with a little bit more music and enjoy this gentle music for the day after
Valentine's
Day celebration. Okay, have a great day. We'll see you next Thursday night, maybe at an impromptu broadcast as well. Have a wonderful day. Let me just mention, for those who would like to join me tomorrow morning, I'll be doing Hatha Yoga on the right here on this floor, and I won't be talking a lot, maybe just a few words here and there, but it's a practice I like to do on Sunday mornings, and relaxing into this beautiful light and breath. So join me 9 o'clock tomorrow morning if you care to. All right, have a good day. Bye.